The judge looked at Daniel and asked, "Mr. Carter, before I make my final decision, is there anything you want to say?" Daniel looked across the courtroom. His father was sitting beside his stepmother. His older brother Michael was sitting behind them. They all looked confident. They thought Daniel had finally lost. His father leaned toward him and whispered, "You should have stayed grateful. You turned against your own family, and now you're going to lose everything." Daniel didn't argue. He simply smiled. Then he placed a small black folder on the judge's desk. His father's smile disappeared. Michael suddenly stopped moving. The judge opened the folder. She read the first page. Then the second. Her expression changed. Daniel's father stood up. "Where did you get those documents?" Daniel looked directly at him. "From the truth you buried 12 years ago." The courtroom went silent. Because the family that had spent 12 years treating Daniel like a failure had no idea that he had been preparing for this exact moment. 12 years earlier, Daniel was just 22. His father, Richard, owned a successful construction company. Daniel wanted nothing to do with the business. He wanted to become a teacher. But Richard wanted Michael to inherit everything. One night, Daniel overheard his father and stepmother discussing secret financial documents. His stepmother asked, "What if Daniel finds out?" Richard replied, "He won't. By the time he does, everything will belong to Michael." Daniel was devastated. He confronted his father the next morning. Richard didn't apologize. He simply said, "Michael knows how to build a future. You don't." Daniel asked, "I'm your son. How could you do this?" Richard answered, "You're my son, but Michael is the one I trust." That night, Daniel packed one bag and left. For 12 years, his family believed he had failed. But Daniel didn't give up. He worked 2 jobs. He studied business and finance at night. Eventually, he built his own financial consulting company. He became an expert at finding hidden financial problems. Then, 12 years later, he received a call. His father's company was in trouble. Millions of dollars were missing. The company needed an independent financial auditor. And they hired Daniel. When Michael walked into the conference room and saw him, he froze. Daniel calmly opened his laptop. "It's been a long time." The investigation began. Within days, Daniel discovered suspicious property transfers, unexplained payments, and private accounts connected to the family business. Then he found something even bigger. A 12-year-old document had transferred his late mother's ownership shares to Michael. But there was one problem. The signature on the document wasn't hers. Daniel finally had the proof. He didn't threaten his family. He didn't scream. He simply took the evidence through the proper legal channels. And everything collapsed. Michael lost his position. Richard lost control of the company. And Daniel's rightful ownership was restored. But Daniel didn't keep the company. He sold his share and walked away. Months later, Richard came to see him. He looked older and completely defeated. "I was wrong," he said. Daniel looked at his father for a long moment. Then he said, "You taught me something important." Richard asked, "What?" Daniel smiled. "You taught me how to survive without you." And he walked away. Daniel didn't destroy his family. He did something much more powerful. He built a life they could never control again. Because sometimes, the best revenge isn't making someone suffer. It's becoming so strong, so successful, and so independent, that the people who once broke you realize they no longer have any power over you.